So yeah, hey everybody, haven't been posting much content lately. I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing more of that. I've kind of been having a lot of work and gigs and merchandise and just stuff with my online stores that I've been kind of working with, and there's kind of a bit of a mess behind me. I've been trying to reorganize my office space, and that stuff has kind of gotten in the way of releasing content. I have a new webcam. I have some new audio recording equipment. Hopefully that sounds a little better than what I've been doing. I thought, well, what am I going to talk about? Let's talk about a couple new trailers. So we got the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and you guys know about that. You guys have seen that. And I've been a Sonic fan since like 1993. So my relationship with the series kind of mostly ended when the series went 3D, just not because I think they're bad games, but because I just did not find the 3D to be as mechanically pleasing as the 2D. I'm not very familiar with the 3D Sonic. Maybe to fans who are more familiar with that, this makes more sense, but it seems that just about everybody kind of pooed the bed, so to speak, when they saw the model that's being shown here, Because whether you're an old or newer Sonic fan or you like the whole thing, the character design has never been like that in any of the games or even the comic books or the cartoons. So this is very like left field, like where did this come from? We're situating Sonic in the real world. Earth, a very earthy world. So maybe that's how the newer fans tend to see Sonic, but it kind of seems to me like this was mostly a budgetary choice. Like if you make a live action movie, then there's millions that you're saving on having to model all of this. If everything is CG, it's a little more expensive than doing live action plus CG. That seems to be the case for me. Now, this scene here looks a little bit like, this looks like a Mushroom Hill Zone behind Robotnik, and Robotnik, who looks a bit less like Robotnik early on, looks a lot like him here. And I feel like that Jim Carrey genuinely had fun doing this character, so I appreciate his performance. This is kind of more a bit how Sonic has traditionally looked, at least in 2D form. In old school form. That's kind of how I like seeing it represented, because I think it's just so visually interesting. I don't think the 3D stuff is quite as compelling because there's a certain level of abstraction that comes with doing a Sonic game, an old 2D Sonic game, because it's pixel art, but it's also very rendered looking and very representative of what it's supposed to be. It's very detail oriented, and yet it's kind of fantastical, it's kind of surreal, it's psychedelic. The level designs are so wild looking, and we don't really get much of a sense of that, like especially the special stages. And I know that it's not like I want to see an exact representation of that in the movie. It's just that I think that they just figured this will be a little easier to do, to kind of shoot a live action movie and throw in, kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, except this is not really, it's not great looking CG. I mean, it looks fine. He ends up looking kind of like a child in a furry costume. It's very weird. It's just unsettling and odd. And apparently they're going to swap out the Sonic model, try to make the movie more of maybe what the fans would have had in mind. But it's still going to have this problematic idea of like, let's just, Roger Rabbit this. And if you've ever seen the Sonic Mania cutscenes, let's just look those up real quick. If the people who made these cutscenes were to be the art directors for a larger team that could do like kind of a big budget Hollywood version of what we're seeing here, which is already pretty nice looking, why couldn't that have been the movie? It kind of seems like Hollywood should have gone with that, and I don't know why they didn't. I think this would have been very charming, and I think kids and adults alike would have liked it. And you could mix in elements from different parts of the series, because this is very much paying an homage to the old part of the series. And if you worked in some of the newer elements, but kind of still in the style, I don't see why you couldn't find a happy medium in a 2D kind of thing like this. Missed mark. I think Hollywood still doesn't really understand video games. There's not much of a, in that Venn diagram of people who work in the video game industry and people who work in Hollywood, you know, the crossover, I guess, is still kind of small. There haven't been very many opportunities for games to really develop as good movie concepts. We're still struggling to figure out exactly how to do that. Now, Doom, which is the movie's being called Doom Annihilation. It's another movie that is getting a lot of negative attention, and for completely different reasons, since it's a whole different beast. Now, I've been playing the Doom games. Wanted Doom Slayers! You know, not, it's a little cheesy, you know, not a great tagline there. I've been playing the old Doom games since 1994, and unlike the Sonic franchise, I've enjoyed all the incarnations of Doom, even Doom 3. So I'm pretty familiar with how the game has changed in the look and the attitude and even the gameplay over the years. But it's been a pretty similar game throughout. And the first movie, which came out in 2005, I think it's pretty cheesy. I think really the writing, directing, pacing, it all kind of dropped the ball, but it had some pretty decent art direction. I don't think the writing and directing is going to be James Cameron level with the new one. But when I look at it, I don't have the negative reaction that most of the fans have had. I see a small budget production off Hollywood, Netflix original content attempting to bring my favorite video game franchise to life, and almost all the shots remind me of something from Doom. Now, does it look exactly like it? Does it look exactly like the Doom guy in his green armor running around, faceless, shooting? No! You can't call me right now! My father's trying to call me in cell phone! Please don't. Not right now. Not now. I'll call you back real soon, Pappy. No, there's not really shots of that exact kind of idea. They probably didn't have the money to do something like that. I don't really care that the trailer doesn't have Doom guy in it. What I care about is, does it have Doom stuff in it? So we've got a pretty neat looking little airship or a spaceship that's probably going to Mars, you know. We definitely have someone talking about problems on Phobos, I think. Does that shot not look like the intermission screen to, like, when every time you beat a level? That made me really smile. Okay, I just thought it was cool. I thought I've exchanged a few tweets with the director, and he's a real sweetie pie. He's been a fan of the Doom games almost as long as I have. He says he wants to really make something the fans will like. Everybody just poo-pooing all over the movie, and it doesn't look like $200 million were thrown at it. Of course not, but it looks like that. You got some sets, you got some makeup, you got some guys. Come on, there's guys in costumes. That's pretty nice. Some people are complaining about the fact that there's like several women in the movie, and it's like, okay, big deal. You know, people will jump to their favorite political buzzwords, such as calling it an SJW, progressive leftist move. And it's like, look, I'm sure that given the political climate, certain things rise to the surface. So Hollywood is more aware, the movie industry is more aware of these things, such as like, oh, okay, what role are women playing in movies, and how do we move forward with that? And there can be political underpinnings to that. And I say to that, well, so freaking what? There's like several women with guns in the trailer, and they're like shooting bad guys, shooting demons. This looks like a fun movie to me. I sometimes it's nice to see some ladies doing some action. Again, people are complaining about how cheap it looks. I mean, look, a UAC barrel's exploding. It looks kind of like the Doom 64 barrel. A lot of this stuff reminds me of Doom 3 and Doom 2016, and even old school Doom with some of the shots. You see somebody with a lady with a chainsaw. That's pretty cool. I mean, and the lighting looks pretty nice. There definitely some nice attention paid to setting up the lighting in a way, and that's a big part of Doom, is the lighting. It looks like they understand the franchise, you know, and people get bent out of shape because, yeah, there's some pretty cheesy dialogue in there. The game is also very cheesy. I can only take Doom so seriously because there's a lot of cheesy elements. And you know what? Both these movies have me excited in weird different ways. Sonic has me excited. And by the way, I was going to show, yeah, just this is old school Doom. And I just feel like if we're going to see something kind of like this, and I think the movie is veering close to this look, you know. So the Sonic movie has me excited because of how bizarre of a misfire it is, with all this money thrown at it, and it doesn't seem like Hollywood actually understands the intellectual property very well that it's dealing with. And then the Doom movie has me excited because you're dealing with a director who is really passionate about the franchise and has spoken out about that on Twitter. I think the opportunity for it to be a decent, fun, schlocky B horror movie with some cheese and some good effects, I think there's a good chance of that. So I'm gonna watch both of them, but I don't think I'm gonna see Sonic in the theater unless I can make some big deal about it, where I invite a bunch of friends and we're just gonna like clown on it. I'll pay for that. So that's all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna come back with some more content in the near term, so be on the lookout for that, okay? All right. Yeah, signing off. Goodbye. Sayonara. Bye. Bye.